There are some people who are diehard fans for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I really admit, you know, I never really aged out of toys, but I didn't go all in on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when they came out. I thought they were okay. I mildly liked the cartoon. I did end up enjoying the movie much more than I expected. The second movie was entertaining, but not as good. The cartoon continued, and to be perfectly honest, I never really dove in as far as some people did. Now, a lot of people, especially out here on the YouTube sphere, absolutely love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And props to them. I'm not going to fault them at all. But me, I've always been kind of a fair weather fan. But I always wanted a set of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that kind of blended the cartoon and movie aesthetic and would scale in pretty okay with my Marvel Legends. I would also like some that would scale in with my G.I. Joes, but I've never seen any that do, so we won't get into that today. Now, there's been a ton of Turtles. A ton. But Playmates started putting out what they called the Ninja Elite series. And I found Michelangelo and Leonardo. And when I got them, I was like, ooh, this is close. Really close. I mean, this is the closest I've seen to what I've been talking about wanting out of my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's not quite there, but I've not seen anything closer. But of course, Donatello and Raphael, are they going to make them? Will they ever come out? Well, they did. And a friend of mine actually found them, knew I had gotten the other two, and said, hey, you want these? I'm like, yeah, I need all 4 turtles. So now I got them. Now the first thing you're going to notice is all of them are wearing trench coats, which is kind of weird because not all of them wore trench coats. This is true. However, the trench coats are removable. And once you get the trench coats off, you got a damn good looking turtle. You got 4 damn good looking turtles with some interesting weapons and, well, I'll be damned. I think I might have found my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at last. Only took me this long. Now, right away, the first thing I noticed is that although they have a lot of the movie aesthetics and they're listed as movie figures, the masks, which are kind of silly to put on a turtle, but we won't get into that. I mean, if you really think about it, what are they masking for? I mean, they're turtles. Nobody's going to recognize them anyway. Unless, it's like, oh, that turtle. I don't know who that is now. But the facial expressions in the mask are really leaning into the cartoon aesthetic. And while the movie had the mask colors pretty dark, these seem to be pretty bright. And that's one thing I appreciate. Because to me, the bright colors make it a little better. Now, I think the only thing that would have made it better is if the turtles were different shades of green. But now, keep in mind, in the movie, they weren't different shades of green. So, that works. Now, the articulation is insane on these guys. Double jointed arms. They have hand articulation. They can make fists, or they can hold weapons. Now, I will admit, the movement in the hands does make holding weapons a little difficult. You have to really work at it, but it does work. The hip joints don't work that well, but hell, they're turtles. It's alright. Double jointed knees and toe articulation. They do have ankle articulation, but no rocker. So that way you have to be a little bit careful on how you pose them, because otherwise they're just going to fall over. The weapons are great. Now, it's not, I'm not going to lie. It isn't, obviously these are toys, and these are toy-ish. toyetic, even though I just said it. They are toy-ish, so it's not like you got a shiny sword or anything, but I'm okay with that. And, of course, all the turtles have the appropriate weapons, given who they are. Now, Michelangelo does come with two nunchucks. I will point out in these pictures, I had misplaced the nunchuck, and I could not find it for the pictures, so I just went without it and just gave him the one. I tracked it down after doing this right before I started recording this audio, so, oh well. That's the way life goes, I guess. But to me, the posability is spot on. The look, is great. Of course, again, these borrow from the movie, but, there's enough cartoonish elements that I'm okay with that. And that's what I kept saying was somewhere between the cartoon and the movie. Because those are the two ways I really feel I know the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. A lot of people kept pointing me to NECA. My problem with those was that they looked to be a little bit out of scale. They looked to be a little too tall. Now, granted, in the movie, these were guys in suits. They were a bit larger than the average human. Whereas, as my wife points out, turtles need to be a little bit shorter. You can do that in a cartoon. In a movie, it doesn't work. So then begins the question, how do they scale? Well, they aren't perfect, but it's damn closer than anything I've seen yet. As much as people like to say, whatever turtles you want, you can go get, I don't think so. It's for someone like me who kind of wants them to be able to blend in with some of the stuff he has. It's been really difficult. I'll talk about the 1/18 scale because I don't recall, there was some reaction ones done a while back, but those are the only 1/18 scale Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles I am aware of. I know there were some dollar store ones that almost, they were not quite, they were almost 1/18 scale. They were actually a little too short. Articulation was shitty anyway. There was Workout Mikey, I think. I did have one just to test. And so, and they didn't have any weapons either. Or at least the one I had didn't have weapons. I only found the workout one, which I want to say is Michelangelo. And I never found any of the others. If there were others, who knows? It's hard to say. But, still, I don't think there's an option for 1/18 scale at this point. So, this is going with the 1/12 scale. And I think, again, they scale all right. Not, is it perfect? I won't say perfect. But I think it's about the closest we're going to get. I've seen some pictures of some of the Playmates ones that they did with the Turtles of Grayskull. But I don't like the look of the Turtles of Grayskull, so I'm going to pass that up. And I know Playmates did a couple of them a while back, but I never really saw those anywhere, and I never saw them for sale on any websites. So, yeah, I'm just going to not even worry about those at this point. Again, it's not that I don't like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I do. I bought the best, the Loyal Subjects versions. And while those are okay, I have to say that I'm a little let down on some of the ways in which they come apart. Like, they have different expressions on the alternate heads, but you try to get those heads off those things, it's damn near impossible. So that was something to take into consideration. They're also a little bit shorter. They're 5-inch figures, so that brings in a whole nother issue too. It depends on how short you want to make your turtles. Yeah, and then Shredder was just as tall as the turtles, so that's a problem. Now, I will admit I bought the animated version of Shredder along with this just to test, and that one's a bit of an issue. And I will get to that figure eventually. It's not high on my priority list because he does not work as well as I want him to. But the Turtles were pretty high on my priority list, so I wanted to get to them as soon as possible, especially when I got all four. I was originally going to just put up Michelangelo and Leonardo, but as soon as I got all four, I was like, I have to do this now. I'm kind of glad I waited, because now I can do all four at the same time and just bang them out there. Again, a fan of turtles, but not the hardcore fan I am. Not like with G.I. Joe, not like with Marvel. Again, I like them. There's a lot of properties. It's like, I like it. I will get something to represent that property, but I am not going to go all in. That's just me. Okay? And at the same time, these hit that niche of what I want out of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figure. Is something better going to come along later? I won't doubt that for a second. As it stands, these are really good for what I'm talking about. They're obviously toys. I want them to be toys. I mean, I don't want to, some people want super hyper realistic weapons. I want the swords of Leonardo to stab me and make me bleed. No, I don't want that. I want them to be toys. I want them to look like toys. I mean, let's just face it. We're talking turtles here. While I also enjoyed The Last Ronin, I don't need any figures from it. I'm not seeking those out. It was a good story. Not something I enjoyed. Not something I absolutely positively need in my collection. I'm going to say the figures are neat, and I don't blame anybody for buying them. They do look good. But I don't as attached to that as I do with basically the originals. Is that nostalgia? Maybe. I just thought I thought the turtles were fun. And toys should be fun, right? Yeah, exactly. So that's why I even bothered to look at these and why I kind of saw it. I'm really glad now that I bought Michelangelo and Leonardo when I did, because now those get to be hard to find. Now, of course, these guys come with trench coats and fedoras. Easily removable. In fact, the fedoras don't even stay on them at all. You just touch them and they fall right off. So it's not like you're stuck with them in that. And that was the thing about this line was that, what do these guys look like underneath those trench coats? Underneath those trench coats, these are some damn fine figures in my opinion. I really like them. I really am happy with having these. And those expressions are perfect. They're just perfect. And yeah, especially Donatello looks a little cartoonish, which is great. I want a little bit of cartoon in there. Because really, I did enjoy the cartoon. I didn't enjoy it the way I enjoyed like G.I. Joe, Masters of the Universe, or other cartoons. But I still enjoyed it. I still liked it. And I still wanted to have these guys. At some point in my collection, I really just wanted to have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right there in the collection, sitting somewhere where I can just go over and go, oh, look, there's my turtles. And now I have that. And I'm very happy with it. Your posability is good. The sculpts are good. The overall aesthetic is really awesome. I'm just glad I got these. They can hold their weapons. They can have places for their weapons that are appropriate to the character. It works. It just works for me. I'm really happy with these. I'm glad I got them. I'm glad they have a space on my shelf now. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Alf, man. I just like that figure. These, I just wanted turtles. And finally, after years of looking, I've got turtles that I'm very happy with. And that's what toy collecting should be all about. Being happy with what you grab. Being happy with what it is. Even if some people are going to scoff on it. And I know some people are going to look at these and go, come on, man. Those aren't turtles. That's fine. That's for you. This is me. I like these. I like these a lot. So yeah, that's what this whole channel is about. Me enjoying and sharing with you my joy. And at last, I've got some joy out of this for something I've sought out for years and years and years. And finally, I feel like I reached something I wanted so badly. And I wanted to share it with you. So folks, hope you enjoyed this video. You guys take care. Have a good one.